Hello, you're watching TVP World News. I'm Jonas. Hungarian Foreign Minister Péter Szijjártó has called on Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy to, and I quote, stop threatening Hungary and to end the reckless attacks on our energy security, end of quote. Szijjártó expressed concern over the continued supply of Russian oil to Hungary through the Druzhba pipeline, which has recently been restored after a Ukrainian strike on a facility in Russia. We go live now to our correspondent in Kyiv, Karol. Hello, Alex. So what is Kyiv's reaction to these words? Now, we have lost connection, it appears. We'll be going back to Alex in a few moments. In the meantime, we're moving on to our next story. Norwegian Prime Minister Jonas Gahr Støre arrived in Kyiv on Monday for a visit aimed at underscoring the deepening support and solidarity between Norway and Ukraine. The head of the Norwegian government met with both Ukrainian Foreign Minister Andriy Sybiha and Andriy Yermak, the head of the Office of the President of Ukraine. The three officials discussed Norway-Ukraine relations and partnership. Store's visit to Kyiv on Monday coincides with a broader diplomatic engagement, as Germany's Vice-Chancellor and Finance Minister Lars Klingbeil also paid a visit to Kyiv on the same day, reinforcing European commitment to Ukraine. The visit also takes place one day after Norway pledged $700 million to enhance Ukraine's air defense, which includes providing munitions for Patriot air defense systems and supporting the Ukrainian defense industry. And now we're coming back to the story of Hungarian Foreign Minister Péter Szijjártó, who has made some rather unusual comments regarding Ukraine as a result of the interruption in the supply of Russian oil following a Ukrainian strike on one of the Russian facilities. Now we are going live to our correspondent in Kyiv, Karol. So Alex, can you tell us what exactly was Kyiv's reaction to the words of Péter Szijjártó?
Well, let's bring you back to the start of this story. Of course, those strikes on the Druzhba pipeline interrupting oil flow, Russian oil flow, into Hungary. There was frustration expressed by the Hungarian Prime Minister, some anger expressed by the US President as well. And then we had the Foreign Minister of Ukraine saying that the attack on the pipeline was an attack on Hungary's energy security and an attempt to drag its country into the war. Now, President Zelenskyy was asked about that at a press conference that we were at yesterday with Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney. Zelenskyy said Ukraine has always wanted friendly relations with Hungary and that the existence of the Druzhba pipeline now depends on Hungary's behavior. Now, that, of course, was taken by the Hungarian Foreign Minister as a threat. He was posting on the social media platform X saying that President Zelenskyy used the national holiday to threaten Hungary, and that he firmly rejected the Ukrainian president's intimidation. He says that he regards sovereignty and territorial integrity as fundamental values, and that an attack on energy security is an attack on Hungarian sovereignty. That will be received rather skeptically from Kyiv, particularly because of Hungary's cozy relationship with the Kremlin, certainly Russia not respecting territorial integrity and sovereignty here in Ukraine. We've had a response now back to that from the Foreign Minister of Ukraine, Andriy Sybiha, saying that he will reply in a Hungarian manner to his Hungarian counterpart, saying there is no need to tell the President of Ukraine what to do or say or when. He is the President of Ukraine, not Hungary. He added that Hungary's energy security depended on Budapest itself. Effectively, this war of words now continuing between Ukraine and Hungary. One more point I'll make just to wrap on this. Hungary will have to phase out Russian oil by the end of 2027 anyways. That was a point that Andriy Sybiha, the Foreign Minister of Ukraine, said, phase out Russian oil like everybody else in Europe, but for now the war of words continues.
Karol was with us live from Kyiv commenting on the spat between Budapest and Ukraine. Alex, thank you very much for joining us here today. And now we're moving on to our next story. A Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney is visiting Warsaw today to meet with his Polish counterpart Donald Tusk and with President Karol Nawrocki, with defense and security high on the agenda. He is now at the Prime Minister's office, and our reporter Diana Skaya is on the site right now. Diana, so has the meeting already begun? What can we expect?
Hello, Jonas. Well, we are standing in front of the Prime Minister Donald Tusk's office. The meeting has actually just begun moments ago. A lot of tight security behind me. Now, what's going on here is Mark Carney. It's his first trip to Poland. He's going to be moving on later on to Latvia. Now, what's happening here is that he is meeting with Premier Donald Tusk. Among the things that they will be talking about is, just as you mentioned, energy, defense, but also aerospace, also nuclear. And also many, among other industries, also the energy sector. Now, Poland has been a key also transit hub for military assistance to Ukraine. And let's be reminded here, Jonas, that Canada has trained 45,000 of its troops here in Poland. Later on today at 1 o'clock local time, Mark Carney will be heading to meet with Polish President Karol Nawrocki. But for now, I will invite you to listen in to the press conference that is taking place right now.
Everything is clear, remains clear. What is also clear is the future of our relations, the future of our nations and of our cooperation. Thank you very much once again for those warm words to the Polish people and for your visit. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Prime Minister Tusk. Dear Donald, it is a great pleasure for me to be back in Warsaw. Every time I come to Warsaw, it continues to grow and develop and astound, and in no small part due to your leadership at present and over the years. And the Prime Minister, I first met the Prime Minister formally in his role as President of the European Council, which was a remarkable time. It was an important time for Europe, and it was a time when you stressed core values, core European values, freedom, solidarity, and unity. And it was a time, and we have some echoes of this in our time now, where both forces bringing together but also pulling apart. We met over Brexit. There you go. Canada and Poland come together. That's the history. The history, if we go back decades, fighting side by side in Dieppe and at Normandy, Canada being the first country to ratify Poland's membership of NATO, standing together, our troops stand together in Latvia at present. And as the Prime Minister alluded to a moment ago, Poland is absolutely essential to the defense of Ukraine. 90% of the people and the material transit through Poland. Ici, les forces armées canadiennes, dont l'opération unifiée, fait l'entraînement des forces ukrainiennes. Plus de 45 000 soldats depuis des années. So we're together working side by side in Ukraine, together side by side in NATO, and if I may say, we learn much from the Prime Minister, from his government, including the importance of pulling our full weight in NATO. And it will take us a few years to reach Polish levels of commitment. It's possible. But it's possible. And we have made that commitment. We will quadruple our spending on defense between now and the end of the decade. And to do that right, to do that properly, we need the best partners in partnership with Poland, in aerospace, in other areas, and in partnership with Europe through that intensified defense partnership. As well, deep relationships that will reconfirm and advance. As, again, the Prime Minister mentioned a moment ago, we don't need declarations. On n'a pas besoin de déclarations, il faut avoir d'action. And we have action in this partnership, action on energy from nuclear, SMRs, as was just mentioned, action in renewable energy, action in critical minerals, action in aerospace, and yes, thank you for the partnership between the industry in Quebec and Canadian technology at the heart of Airbus. There's a symbol there. And action people to people. I'll close by observing that this relationship, it is built out of people, more than around a million Canadians of Polish descent, but at its heart are those ties, are those values that the Prime Minister himself has lived and that our two great nations bring together. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you.
Thank you, Donald.
And best regards to our Kashubian minority in Ontario. You know?
Yes, you're from Wilno.
Yeah.
From Wilno, Ontario. You went to, yes, exactly.
Dziękuję bardzo i dziękujemy.
Thank you very much. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
This was Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney and Poland's Prime Minister Donald Tusk with a brief press conference following their meeting here in Warsaw. Later on, Mark Carney is also scheduled to meet Poland's President Karol Nawrocki. And we'll be coming back with this story later on. For now, however, that is all on this news bulletin. Please stay with us here on TVP World for more latest news and updates.